Hi guys, Bojack here from the House of 13 Productions. We do a home haunt every year. This is our 2022 home haunt. My wife Kelly and I, we've been doing this for about 23 years. We started with just my brother and I, and then we added a tent and decorated the yard, and then added another tent, and then moved. We outgrew that location, moved to another location, increasing the size and the attendance. And this here is the third location that we've been to. We had a pretty good turnout this year, about 1,000 people a night. So we put up this haunted house. I thought I'd give you a walkthrough and show you a little bit of what we did. And I hope you enjoy it. This is the kids' room. I got my grandkids in here. The pretense of the whole thing is it's a child's nightmare. So you walk into their bedroom. Like I said, everything's in disarray, but this is the bed, and it's put over there. And my grandkids are on it, and they're screaming that they're having a bad dream. And we got some hands that are coming out from underneath the bed. There's a monster under the bed, and they're screaming, "Don't go into the closet." This is a TV. I had a projector on a boom above, and we were projecting the Ring onto it. This got a little worn out, but it worked perfectly as a TV screen. And then we had Samara coming out of the well and walking towards you, and then we had someone dressed as Samara who comes out of the TV. So again, they're telling you don't go into the closet. So you go into the closet, and this is where the nightmare starts. So you go into our hallway, and basically these are just plywood panels, and we've decorated them. We put a treatment over it. Basically we put some lace on the plywood and painted it black. First we painted it black, and then I went back over with a quart sprayer and sprayed it with house paint. And back over here, these two big pictures are drop windows. I'll take you inside and show you those. So there's cameras, and there's a monitor on the inside of the drop window booth. So the actor in there can see when the person's right at the right spot. This worked out so well last year. I made it a double drop panel because the timing has to be exactly perfect with just a single drop window. And because there can be 3, 4, 5 people at a time, then we want to have 2 drop windows so that we can get a larger group of people. And then when you come around here, you go on the other side of the box, and once you get right here, I've got a section, and basically this is just weed barrier on a 2x4 frame. And the same actor that ran the drop window, they come around here and they have a horn and a light, and they'll activate that, and it's a great scare. Okay, so this is the back side of the area I just showed you. So as you can see, they're just plywood sheets with 2x4s all the way around. And then how they go together is I made a little template so that I drill the holes in the same place on each one. And I just run a bolt through them. And then on the corner, I take that same panel, and then I run a 2x4 also on the inside. That way there's something to bolt to in the corner. This is the back of the TV set, and I just got a plastic sheet here, and the actor can go right there and go through the window. And as I said, the material got a little wore out through the night. So this is the box, the control room for the drop panel. Okay, so this is inside the control room for the drop panels. It's a great scare. Like I said, it worked out so well last year. I added 2 this year, so you could scare a group of 4 or 6 or whatever, and you don't have to pick your victim. You can scare the whole group at the same time. So what I did was I got an animatronic for one of the windows, and then I have my actor in the other window. And this animatronic here I got from Hallucinations Creations. I got the bones of it from them. And basically it's a head turn, right? Well, the air's on, so the air's on right now, so I can't make it turn its head, but it turns its head back and forth and up and down. So I got the controls in there. Got a little peekaboo in there, and it goes through its little spiel. That way, whenever the window drops, got a motion sensor here that senses the drop, and this animatronic goes into its spill, and at the same time, our actor can work here. And as I mentioned in the hallway, we got cameras, so I've got a monitor here. So the actor that controls all this, Tom G, shout out to Tom G, now you're YouTube famous, he can see exactly when to drop the panels. I got the power off. And last year I had made the drop window myself, and it was really heavy and cumbersome. It didn't always lock right, but it was such a great scare. I went ahead and invested into professional drop windows. So I got these mechanisms from DC Props. I think they were about $600 each. I don't know what the cost for shipping would be. I'm about 100 miles from San Francisco, where DC Props is located. So I was able just to say, hey, can I come pick them up? And I was able to do that. Went down and picked them up. And basically this control room is just a big box. So once you start slapping these panels together, once you get an angle together, then you can start adding the walls in, and then the walls go to this box, and the box structure helps to support the whole thing and keeps it sturdy. Over here, this is the weed barrier, and the actor that's in here, he can see right through this, but because there's a little light on the outside, they can't see in. So to them, it just looks like a continuation of the wall. And when he turns on a light, all of a sudden somebody appears out of nowhere in the wall right before him, and he's got a little horn, and he activates the horn, and that scares the crap out of people. All right, let's go to the next room. All right, so as we come down the hallway, again, we see the weed barrier. We get the scare here, and then we go into this room. So my brother, this is my brother's room. I found out that when you have actors that help you all the time, I don't always have the best ideas for the whole house. So if you give rooms to certain good actors and let them create their own scene and scare, it works out really well. So here, my brother, he put this together. Shout out to Hannibal, that's my brother. Then we have this basement. It's lit up on the inside with fire lights. So there's like a little fire burning in there. And he built this demon looking monster end chair, and he actually gave this to me for my birthday. So my birthday is in October, so it was a pretty awesome birthday present. And if you look at the head there, that's all made from spray foam. And the chair, the little trees around it and the skull, that's all spray foam. Come out really well. So we have some red lights in here and some real crazy moaning, groaning, screaming sounds. And when the people get right here, my brother come up with this. He sits behind there, and he operates this. It's basically just a monster on a stick, and it rolls out, and it was a great scare. So when you come in here, again, everything is in disarray. We kind of halfway tore down everything last night. This is the psych ward. So we've got a VFX Creates puppet, Molly. No, it's Sally. She lays on the bed. She's got her own built-in sound. She lays on the bed, and it really sets a hospital tone. My nephew, Scotty, shout out Scotty. You're YouTube famous now. He sits in a wheelchair here, mumbling and saying all kinds of crazy things. So we come around into the lab. I've got a pretty good lab set up here. I picked up this glassware at a yard sale. And with some lights on it, we don't use the house lights here. With some lights on it, it really sets the scene that this is a lab. And what's cool is these are all filled with two-part epoxy, so it makes them strong. So if you accidentally drop it, yeah, the glass will break, but the epoxy won't. I know this because I got a couple of them that are cracked. But from right here, when you walk in, there's a VFX Creates box that one of my friends uses, and it's got a head that lunges out of it, and that's also a good scare. Then Charlie, shout out Charlie, you're YouTube famous now. Charlie's my friend that runs the box. Over in here, we didn't have all this in here last night. We have my friend Clint, shout out Clint. He's in a straight jacket, and he just come up off the wall with all kinds of little crazy chants and sayings he was doing. At one point, he was doing the waltz with another one of the VFX Creates puppets, Rob the Zombie. And then as they're leaving, I sit right here. I sit right here and operate this chair. And in the chair, we have Molly. It's a VFX Create puppet, and it has the worm that comes out of the center. And that's also another great scare. We got a lot of good scares in this room. Of course, now in the daylight and everything's disassembled. A lot of the big props I've taken out already. You don't get the full sense of it, but we had a great time in this room last night, and it really worked out well as a psych ward. All right, let's go to the next room. All right, so when you come out of the psych ward lab, it takes you down to the spider cave, and we got a black light, a real high-powered LED black light. So all this outer material glows, and when you walk into the spider cave. We wanted to get some beef netting for in here, but it was all on back order. So we ended up getting some of these spider webs from Spirit Store, and unfortunately they don't glow under black light. We figured that out right before we opened, and so we tried to remedy that by spraying different chemicals on it, and none of it worked out. So that's a lesson learned. All right, so we got this guy here, and he's actually a hangman mechanism, again from Hallucinations Creations, and we repurposed it because didn't really want to have a hanging guy in my haunt, and basically we stood him up, and he's a spider victim, and basically his torso just goes back and forth, jumps around. He's ran by a boo box and speaker. And we got a little bit of a scare, but it kind of set the tone for the cave. And so you come in through the cave. We got some dangly bits in here to touch in, kind of freak you out. And we got the giant Walmart spider, or not Walmart, Home Depot spider. A lot of people are scared of spiders, so it worked out pretty good. Then as you come out, we come out into the vortex tunnel. We had a couple actors hiding throughout here. It's really dark in this tunnel. All the way in the back corner, we have the laser vortex running. Got some hidden fog machines. It really blew people's mind. They'd never seen anything like that. They're like, how did you do that? So again, as you walk down, we have people hiding throughout here. We have a couple people hiding on the other side of the vortex tunnel. Worked out really good. You go into here, we got our laser swamp. We had green lasers on the ground and red lasers on the top. So the ground was green and the sky was red, and looked like the sky was burning. Worked out really good. And basically just mounted the lasers to 2x4s on the bottom so that little kids go through here, it wouldn't be shining in their eyes. And we had the red lasers up here at the top. You see it there? So it's above eye height. And this tree I actually picked up at a yard sale. It's an old Spirit Store demo or whatever you want to call it, tree. But it really sets the scene for a laser swamp. And basically we're in one of those Costco tents, just tarped up the sides and everything. It looks kind of hokey here in the daytime, but at night you really don't notice that, you know, you're in a Costco tent with a bunch of tarps on it. So when you come out, this is kind of a little breather area, except for we got somebody that scares you right there. We got somebody scares you right here. And we have a little cemetery scene. A lot of people stopped right here, basically had a little shake break before they go into my daughter Danielle's tent. Shout out Danielle, you're YouTube famous. All right, so again, here's another one of those old Costco tents, and she's in there screaming and hollering and doing her bit, wanting to add to her collection of dead hanging bodies. So she did a really good job of, one, decorating this. I gave her this tent and said, hey, do something with it. And this is what she came up with. And she was in here in character, going off on the guest. And then you come through. And of course, we've got other actors in here as well. We got an actor that pretty much follows you through. Come out. Got another spot for actors. And this is the last scene here. So you come in here, you have an actor sitting right here. As I said, this is all a child's nightmare. So this is the end. We have an actor in here that says, oh, aren't you glad that the nightmare's over? You know, like this is the end. And then they trigger the abomination from Poison Props. And she's pretty awesome. She comes out almost right up to the guests, screaming and flailing her arms and throwing her head and hair all around. And it's pretty awesome. All right, guys, so that was the walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click like and subscribe. Thanks.